name is Jackie Diaz, and this is my story. In 2004, shortly after my father passed away, I was diagnosed with severe depression. I was only 9 years old. I had thoughts of suicide. I didn't know what was real and what was not real anymore. All I felt was loneliness. But my mother changed all that. I became really close with my mom after my dad's passing. She told me no matter what, to not even worry about it because my dad is still with us. But sometimes I would get upset and just wish that he was here and that he would come home. It's really hard without him. 5 years pass, I'm in 8th grade, and I was not okay. I was just realizing that my dad was really actually gone, and plus I was getting bullied, and all I really wanted to do was just be with my dad, because I was daddy's little girl. That is when I started cutting myself. I just wanted to end it all the pain. I ended up going into a hospital called South Oaks. After being in there, I realized that I gotta stay strong, not because just for me, but for everybody else, because I know they care a lot about me, and I saw how much it hurt them. From that day on, I didn't cut. Next year, I find out that my mom has kidney failure. She started dialysis. I barely went to school because I didn't want to leave her side. I got kicked out at the end of the year of 9th grade for being too emotional and not going as much as I should have. I went to a day program in Sagamore. After that, they put me into an all-girls school called Harmony Heights. The school was an hour away from my house. It was not easy to leave. I went to school worried and scared every day. My mom was in and out of the hospital. I learned absolutely nothing from being in that school. After a year of being in Harmony Heights, I went to BAC, Bellport Academic Center. It was closer, and I was closer to my mom. I learned so much there from just being there for 1 year, from 2012 to 2013. I was an honor roll student, and I got rewards. Summer of 2013 changed my life. I noticed my mom was getting sick. I became scared again, and I stayed by her side 24/7. September 9th was her birthday, and I can remember it like it was yesterday. It was the first day of school. I was kind of worried, but I went to school and I had a fun day, meeting new friends and everything. Got through the day okay, but I still had my mom on my mind. A couple of months go by. My mom, a month goes by, and my mom notices that, I noticed that my mom has an abscess on her stomach, and one day, on a weekend, it just exploded basically. There's a little hole, and it just kept bleeding and bleeding and bleeding. It looked like the whole murder scene, and I was terrified, and I was crying, and my mom was, basically freaking out. Everybody was freaking out. They ended up taking my mom to the emergency room. They patched it up and told her not to worry, it'll be fine. And then she came home and everything was okay for a few days. And then it happened again and again and again and again. She kept bleeding out. And then I noticed, because she had some different kind of surgery on her stomach for a long time ago, and it started to scab, and it was really weird. But I was the one who cleaned my mom's rooms and everything. My mom didn't have a special nurse. Doctor said that I was doing perfectly with the wounds and everything, covering it up and cleaning it. Until one day, my mom ended up bleeding out in my aunt's car, and they freaked out. And then it's just crazy. And then my mom ended up inside the hospital. She had to stay there to see like what exactly was wrong with her. And basically from then on, everything got worse, and I was freaking out because my mom was in the hospital and I couldn't really see her and everything. And then things were going bad at home, just because my aunt and my brother and fighting and everything was just really emotional for me to deal with. And every time I went to go up and see my mom, she always wanted me to stay. Most of the time I did stay, and it kind of made me happy because I was around her. Yeah. And then towards November, my mama actually had to go into a rehab center because after 4 days of being inside of a hospital, she couldn't eat, drink, walk, or go to the bathroom by herself. And it was really scary because I never knew that could happen to a person and that fast. December, we found out that my mom fell on her head a couple of times and everything, but they didn't really check on her. So one day, me and my brother go to visit my mom inside the nursing home or rehab center or whatever, and my mom's face was not the same. It was just really, really pale, and like I was scared for my life and for hers. And I told my mom to smile. She smiled, but then I noticed only half her face was smiling, the other side wasn't. And then I got scared and I thought that she had a stroke or something, but the doctor said that she was fine. But yeah. And then this is just a couple of times that I went to visit my mom and things were just wrong. She ended up, they made her stay in her own feces. She, like, it was really bad. She had a lot of bed sores and they weren't doing anything about it. And it made me so mad. And at the time, I wasn't the health proxy. I never was the health proxy. My brother didn't really listen to me. And the doctors just refused to tell me anything. And then one day, it was just me and my mom in the room. And they showed me her wound that was on her stomach, and it was black. Me, I was scared, really, really scared. And they said, oh, it's just scabbing and everything. So I was like, okay. So I told my brother about it, and then he was like, okay, when I go back over there, I'll talk to them. And then the next day, basically, my mom went to dialysis, and she wasn't okay at all. She was falling out of the seat, and she didn't know where she was or anything. So she was sent to the hospital. She stayed in the hospital for a couple of days. She was sent to Good Samaritan Hospital. They told us that the wound on her stomach, it was black because she had gangrene. And this was in late December, after Christmas. Me, I basically cried a lot because I knew that she was really sick at that point. She was not eating even when I was there. Sometimes she would, but she just didn't eat at all. So they put her food down her throat, and she kept trying to pull it out because she didn't like it. And then one day, I was in school, I came home, and I found out that my mom stopped breathing, and so they had to, no, she didn't stop breathing, wait, I'm sorry. My mom was getting surgery done on her stomach to see if they can get rid of the gangrene before it spreads throughout her body. And then, they did a little bit, but then her pressure dropped, and they had to stop the surgery. And then, we went to go visit her at night, and, they said that we had to put a tube down her throat to help her breathe because she wasn't breathing really well. And then after that, seeing my mom with the tube down her throat scared me, and I was just really terrified because I thought I was going to lose my mom right there. A couple of days later, she gets off the tube, and she was eating somewhat, and then she was sent to another hospital. Well, not another hospital, another nursing home, or rehab center, whatever you want to call it. And like a month of being in there, she was sent back to the hospital because they said if she did not leave that day, that she wasn't going to make it through the night. So we took her back to the hospital, met up with her, and it was just really hard because my mom was just sleeping a lot, and she was really pale, and I was just really scared because I thought I was going to lose her. And then after that day, I was just with my mom, and I was crying, and I was holding her hand, and I was telling her that we have to just stay calm, and we have to be strong for one another, and that not to worry because my dad and my grandmother was with us. And then I was with her, and then I started singing the song that she was used to sing me, and then she started singing along, but she had her eyes closed and she was just whispering it, but as long as I knew that she could hear me. After that night, I had to go home, and when I got home, I couldn't really sleep. I was restless for a couple of days, well, for a lot of days, and I wasn't going to school a lot because I just wanted to be with my mom, and then things turned for the worst in February 18th, January. So, in January, everything was just not okay. My mom was getting sicker and sicker, and nothing was helping her. The pain medicine wasn't helping her, nothing was helping her. And then January 18th, January 17th, family and friends came to see her. She was up and everything. She was fine. And everybody was just basically saying not for her not to go because we need her here and everything. I was just basically on her deathbed, and really was not easy for me. I was by her side the whole time. What happened was late, early January 18th, around like 1 o'clock in the morning, my mom, her heart was just basically just stopping, and it was just really scary. It was going up, it was going down, her pressure was just going, everything was just going crazy, and I was so tired, and I was just holding her hand the whole entire time, and it was just, she was barely talking, but she kept looking at me. But my brother said that she was in shock the whole time. But how was she in shock if she could look at me and whisper things to me? Was what I didn't understand. And basically the doctors gave her to just basically shut down her body, and her whole body was just turning blue all at once. But I had to get some type of sleep, so I took like a 15-20 minute nap, and then I heard alarms going off, and I was just really scared, and I was holding on to my mom's hand, and I was telling her to please just stay for just a couple more minutes. And her heart just like, it stopped, and then it was going back up, and I told her just, it was okay. I was promising her things, and I told her I loved her, and she looked at me, and she took her last breath, and she just stopped breathing, and then I started going insane. I was crying, I was screaming for help, for somebody to help her. But we decided that we didn't want her to be resuscitated. And, yeah. I almost fought the nurse, but my cousin Antonio just grabbed me, just held on to me for a couple of minutes till I calmed down, and then I was just on top of my mom, basically just crying my eyes out and telling her that it was going to be okay. And I swear to God, I saw my mom just breathe, and everybody was like, she's not breathing. And I keep having flashbacks of that. After my mom passed away, it was the hardest thing. Yeah. And then January 24th, we had her funeral, or her wake, or whatever. Everybody came, and I had to give a speech. Basically, the speech was that how she knew everybody, and everybody knew her. She was the most loving person ever. She was caring. She'd do anything for everybody. I miss her smile and her laugh and everything. It was going to be really hard for me to it was really hard for me to let her go, to let go for him, and everything. That was the only thing that was still warm throughout her body. I ended up going crazy. I almost knocked down the casket and everything, because I didn't want to see her like that, and it was really hard for me. Yeah. After that, I was just so depressed, and I just wanted to just end my life. It was the most hardest thing, just to stay strong. Every day I couldn't. Yeah. And after that, I didn't go to school for about a month or two. And I just pushed everybody away. I didn't have no friends or anything. Well, I did, but yeah. I felt like I had nobody. And all I just wanted to just be basically stayed home, did a whole bunch of crap with my aunt. I got closer with my aunt because, I don't know, she knew everything that was going to happen and everything. And now she's basically like my second mom. She does everything for me. But I still miss my mom and my dad. And my depression got worse and everything. Flashbacks come and go. And sometimes I don't even know what to do. But yeah. But I have my friends now, my family that are supporting me each and every way, and every step that I take, they're there. And I'm staying strong. I'm here, and I'm not going anywhere for a really long time. So, all my friends and family out there, and my supporters, thank you, and I love you guys so much.